The United States and Canada share one of the world's closest relationships, built on common values of democracy, freedom, and mutual respect. This bond is not just a matter of policy, but a testament to the shared history and culture that unite these two nations. They are connected by the world's longest undefended border, a testament to the trust and cooperation that have been nurtured over centuries. But this friendship isn't just diplomatic, it's lived every day by millions who cross, work, and trade between the two nations. Families are intertwined, businesses flourish, and communities thrive on this seamless interaction. At the heart of this bond is the Alaska Highway, a 300-mile engineering marvel that physically connects the US and Alaska through Canada's wildest terrain. This highway is more than just a road. It is a lifeline that supports economic and social ties. Built in the crucible of World War II, the highway was a joint effort. American and Canadian hands working side by side to defend the continent. It was a monumental task that required courage, collaboration, and a shared vision for the future. It stands as a symbol of resilience, unity, and shared purpose. The highway is a reminder of what can be achieved when nations come together for a common cause. But today, that symbol faces a new test: British Columbia's decision to impose a significant toll on a critical stretch of the highway. This decision has raised questions about accessibility and fairness. The move has sparked outrage and debate, turning a symbol of cooperation into a flashpoint. Communities are voicing their concerns, and the dialogue is intensifying. Now, the US-Canada partnership is being tested by modern economic and political pressures. Leaders on both sides are working to find a solution that honors the spirit of collaboration. The world is watching. Will this historic bond bend or break? The outcome will not only affect the two nations, but also set a precedent for international cooperation in the face of adversity. The Alaska Highway is Alaska's lifeline. Its only ground route to the rest of North America. Every day, trucks haul groceries, medicine, and supplies along this road, keeping Alaskan communities alive and connected. For families and military personnel, it's more than infrastructure. It's a link to loved ones, education, and opportunity. The highway's origins are military, built for continental defense during World War II, and it remains vital for US and Canadian security today. Its maintenance is a shared responsibility, mostly managed by Canadian authorities, reflecting decades of trust and partnership. For over 80 years, this arrangement has worked, fostering a sense of shared stewardship. The highway is a symbol of freedom and unity, a route that belongs to everyone who depends on it. But with the new toll, that legacy of partnership is suddenly in question. The sense of shared ownership is being tested as never before. What was once taken for granted is now at risk. Earlier this year, British Columbia shocked travelers and longtime residents alike by announcing a hefty new toll on its 540-mile stretch of the legendary Alaska Highway, a route that has long been a lifeline for the North. Commercial trucks now pay $250 per trip, a significant increase in operating costs for those hauling goods to and from Alaska. Passenger vehicles are charged $75, an expense that hits Alaskans especially hard, since there's no alternative land route connecting them to the rest of North America. The toll, which specifically targets non-BC residents, was introduced with little warning or public consultation, leaving many feeling blindsided. For trucking companies, it's a major new expense, one that's quickly passed on to Alaskan consumers through higher prices for groceries, fuel, and everyday goods. Families now face extra costs just to visit relatives, attend important events, or move their belongings between states and provinces. The toll transforms what was once a free and open passage into a costly transaction, upending decades of cross-border goodwill and cooperation. Many see it as a break from tradition, a gate slammed shut on a once open road that symbolized unity and freedom of movement. The journey, once a symbol of adventure and freedom, now comes with a literal price tag attached to every mile. The toll's abrupt rollout has left Alaskans feeling blindsided, frustrated, and even betrayed by a neighbor they once trusted. The open road, once a point of connection, is now a point of contention, sparking debate and resentment on both sides of the border. For those who rely on the highway, businesses, indigenous communities, and families, this is more than just a fee. It's a challenge to a way of life, and a threat to the bonds that have held these regions together for generations. The Alaska Highway, once a bridge between nations and communities, now feels like a barrier, dividing people who once traveled freely. The question now is clear. Can this historic alliance between neighbors survive the strain of a toll, or will the open road remain closed for good? For Alaskans, the toll feels like a deep betrayal, a tax imposed on their only land link to the rest of the United States. Many see it not just as a fee, but as a barrier that separates them from the rest of their country, making them feel isolated and forgotten. With no other road connecting Alaska to the lower 48, and with flying or ferries prohibitively expensive for most families, residents feel unfairly targeted and trapped by circumstances beyond their control. The sense of isolation grows, as alternatives are simply out of reach for many. The economic impact is immediate and severe. Shipping costs rise overnight, prices for everyday goods climb higher, and small businesses struggle to survive. For many, the toll is the tipping point that makes an already tough situation even harder. In a state where living costs are already among the highest in the nation, the toll adds real hardship for families and retailers. Every trip to the store becomes a reminder of the extra burden, and every business owner faces new uncertainty. Alaskans remember the highway's origins, a joint project for mutual defense during World War II, built with American money, manpower, and sacrifice. The road was a symbol of unity and shared purpose, not a commodity to be taxed. They see it as shared infrastructure, a lifeline that belongs to both nations, not a Canadian asset to be monetized at the expense of Alaskans. The idea of paying to use what was once a symbol of partnership feels fundamentally wrong. The toll feels like a violation of the original spirit of partnership and trust that built the highway. Many residents feel that a promise has been broken and that their needs have been ignored. Outrage has united Alaskans from all walks of life, sparking protests, rallies, and passionate calls for federal intervention. The community is coming together in ways rarely seen before. Lawmakers demand immediate action, labeling the toll discriminatory, unjust, and a threat to Alaska's economic future. They argue that the federal government must step in to defend Alaskan interests. Town halls fill with stories of hardship, frustration, and determination. Residents share personal accounts of how the toll has affected their lives and urge leaders to fight for change. Alaskans want more than just temporary relief. They want a return to fairness, respect, and the values the highway once represented. They seek recognition of their unique challenges and a solution that honors the original intent of the road. The toll has become a rallying cry for unity, justice, and the enduring spirit of Alaska. It's a fight not just for lower costs, but for dignity and the right to stay connected to the rest of America. British Columbia officials defend the toll as a necessary step for the highway's long-term sustainability. Maintaining the road through harsh wilderness is costly, and BC taxpayers have shouldered most of the burden for decades. The toll, they argue, is a fair user fee, asking those who benefit most, especially Americans, to help pay for upkeep. Revenue from the toll is earmarked for safety and infrastructure improvements, benefiting all drivers. BC insists the fee is reasonable compared to other North American tolls and is not meant to target Alaskans. They acknowledge the lack of consultation was a mistake, but stand by the principle of shared responsibility. For BC, it's about responsible governance, not undermining friendship. What started as a regional dispute has escalated into a diplomatic standoff between the US and Canada. Alaska's congressional delegation brought the issue to Washington, framing the toll as unfair and a threat to North American cooperation. The US State Department pressed Canada, arguing the toll violates free transit and sets a dangerous precedent. Ottawa is caught between maintaining good relations with the US and respecting provincial authority. Tensions rise as American lawmakers threaten retaliatory measures, including new fees on Canadian trucks. The risk of a trade conflict looms, with both economies at stake. The Alaska Highway toll has become a test of trust between two close allies. A local issue now threatens the stability of an entire partnership. The Alaska Highway isn't just economic, it's strategic. Built for military defense, it remains a critical corridor for US and Canadian security, especially as Arctic tensions rise. The toll introduces uncertainty. If fees are allowed now, what restrictions might come in a crisis? Military planners worry about delays and the precedent of barriers on a vital supply route. The seamless defense cooperation between the US and Canada depends on trust and open access. The toll, however small, chips away at that foundation. In a world of growing Arctic competition, any crack in the alliance is a vulnerability. The Alaska Highway must remain a bridge for security, not a bottleneck. The Alaska Highway toll dispute is at a crossroads, but solutions are possible. Dialogue is essential. Alaska, British Columbia, and both federal governments must negotiate in good faith. A shared infrastructure fund, with U.S. contributions, could cover maintenance and keep the road toll-free for Alaskans. Alternatively, a tiered system could charge commercial traffic while exempting Alaskan families. The goal: fairness, sustainability, and respect for the highway's unique role. This is about more than money. It's a test of trust and partnership. The Alaska Highway has always symbolized what the U.S. and Canada can achieve together. Leaders must look beyond conflict and choose collaboration. Only then will the highway remain a lasting monument to friendship, not division.